Hello, everybody. I'm very pleased and honored to be here. My name is Boris Yarmakhov. I came here all the way from Russia, and I'm a very happy person because I'm pleased to acknowledge that I know at least half of you who sit here, because I have a large support group of people who came from Russia, Estonia, Ukraine, and who do a lot to promote Google services in education. And if I don't know you, it's not a big problem, because now we have a chance to meet and to establish contacts and stay in contact offline or through the wonderful Google tools. I'm a Google certified teacher, and I'm very proud to carry this pin. And I'm a Google Apps certified trainer. And today I'm going to talk on building personal learning environments with Google, which is an educational topic. And I would like to mention some aspects of building an educational community with Google tools, because this is exactly what I do in Russia. So if we make a Google search on this notion, Google personal learning environments, we'll find a lot of different pictures. And actually, no two pictures are the same. We will find that most people today are very happy to exhibit their personal learning environments and to show and to share with other people the ways that they learn. Some people would mention things like Twitter and Facebook and Wikispaces. Other people would mention important educational leaders or events or conferences where they get their knowledge. And those pictures of personal learning environments are very unique. And I think it's very important to understand this notion. When I was looking for a good metaphor for what a personal learning environment is, I found this picture. And this is actually an art gallery in Philadelphia. It was built about 40 years ago, and it is called Magic Gardens. And the idea of these Magic Gardens was invented by a Philadelphian artist whose name is Zagar, who created an art gallery with the things that we can find in our everyday life. He used pieces of broken glass bottles, bicycle wheels, everything that can find around. And he even asked his friends and said, if you have something that you would like to share with me, bring it to me. And they did so. And Zagar built this absolutely wonderful environment with pieces of what he and his friends could find and what they thought was useful. And this is exactly how our personal learning environments look. They're not structured. They're composed of nice and fun stuff, something that we can find in other places, something that we can use. And my point is that considering education now, we should think about the possibility to build our own personal learning environments. Here is a picture that I like very much of a child constructing something. This is how education and learning works now. We cannot impose and throw something into a learner's head. We should give him the building materials, the building blocks for him to construct his own knowledge. And now we have many interesting examples of how it is done in our world. If we look through the TED Talks, we can find many interesting examples of how modern teenagers and students build their personal learning environment. This guy is an American student. His name is Jack Andraka, and he gave a wonderful TED Talk about a year ago about how he constructed and designed a way to fight pancreatic cancer, which is a very serious disease which led to deaths of many, many people. And it happened so that his uncle died, and Jack Andraka decided that he must do something to understand the nature of this disease. And what he did was that he made a Google search on this disease, and he tried to understand how it works. And all the sources that he used were just open sources, like Wikipedia and open source articles. And the interesting point is that he managed to find an easy solution which none of the scientists could find before him. He just came up with this method. He approached several professors, and those scientists found that his way of thinking is very interesting, and the tool that he came up with is really worthwhile. And this something which is, for me, very close to magic, how a 14-year-old boy can find an answer to a question, to an issue, which is very important to all the humankind. Another American teenager, Logan LaPlante, came up with a whole educational theory, which he calls hack schooling. His point is that we ourselves and learners, our kids and students, can reach many goals that school cannot actually reach. And his point is that school tries to make us be happy, be healthy, and be successful in life. We can do it ourselves if we take care about our educational goals, if we think about how learning works, and if we try to do something. He calls this method hack schooling because it's very close to how teenagers hack software and hack web services. His point is that every learner should think about hack education, how to achieve personal educational goals on themselves using the tools that we all need. And in his speech, he mentions the tools and approaches which help him to be a successful learner. And he is a homeschooler. He doesn't attend any particular school, and still he's very successful. He passes all the tests that he is required for his age. He mentions the open courses, the distance learning environments, the tools that are open and accessible for him. Here is a bunch of pictures of very successful people, and you may recognize most of those faces. And there is something in common between all of them. Albert Einstein, Salvador Dali, Wolfgang Mozart, Alexander Pushkin, Marilyn Monroe, Richard Branson, and even Daniel Radcliffe. All these people couldn't graduate from school. They were expelled from school, or they were on the verge of being expelled from school. A funny story was with Albert Einstein, who was expelled from school because he asked too many questions. That was the definition. His teacher said, "You're breaking my discipline in my class. You keep asking and asking. There is no place for you. Go somewhere else." And Albert Einstein left school. The same story happened to to all of these people. Probably Mozart was the luckiest because his most valuable person learning environment asset was his father. He was growing in a family of the mostly recognized and successful music educator of his time. Richard Branson was not that successful because he had to start working when he was at the age of 16. But he was so successful in finding his own ways to build his financial and business career that he managed to found his very influential business empire. I was very surprised to find that Daniel Radcliffe didn't graduate from school after being such a successful Harry Potter at Hogwarts. He found that there is nothing for him actually to learn because he understood what his career is going to be like. So he decided that to become an actor, he doesn't need to graduate from school. And actually, this happens to many, many successful people. Some of them are so successful that they manage to do both, graduate from school and build their own personal learning environment, but some are not so successful. And we should consider both of these pathways. I would mention two important pedagogical concepts which deal with personal learning environment. One is of our Russian psychologist, Leonid Vygotsky, who actually the founder of pedagogical psychology. And his idea is that to become a person in culture, you should have somebody around you who can transfer culture to you. But Vygotsky believed that everything that we need can be done inside school. And his idea was that educators should transform school itself so that to make school such environment. It was his position, and his theory is based on that the school should be transformed. Another person who is very influential in this area is Ivan Illich, who about 40 years ago came up with an absolutely different theory and who said that everything you need is outside school. If you want to develop, if you want to build your own personal learning environment, go somewhere else, don't go to school. He wrote about deschooling society and deschooling education. To me, the truth is somewhere in between those two important concepts. Of course, we should think about school should transform to suit modern goals and important questions of our time. But definitely we should consider our ways and our resources that help us to build personal learning environments. I think that now we are facing a shift of metaphors. The way we learn is no longer taking treasures from a treasure chest. It's more incorporating in an ecosystem where information flows, where knowledge is exchanged between different people. And by an ecosystem, I understand a flow of information between people, events, resources, and devices. So it can happen inside school, and it can happen outside schools, but more often, this is a blend of something that is going on inside and outside schools. When we look deeper into the personal learning environment and we try to understand what it really means, we find at least 6 important components of this notion. For me, the most important thing that is a component for building a successful personal learning environment is the ability to find information, to do search. And by search, we understand a lot of different things, not necessarily just finding the right article in the Wikipedia. It can be finding the right person, finding the right way to connect, the right way to attend an event. So everything that helps us to orient in the modern world of information and knowledge connection. Another is organization. It's not only about finding information, it's about how we store it, how we build our own building of knowledge and information around us. Next is creation. We cannot only rely on information which is created by other people and consume it. Building a personal learning environment implies creating something worthwhile. It could be texts, computer models, images, videos, whatever. Then publication. An important part of personal learning environment is making what we create accessible to other people, making it part of other people's cultures. The next is communication. We cannot create something important in our world without considering other people and their thoughts and their ideas and their notions. And the 6th component of what I'm talking about is cooperation. So when we create something, it's really important to make it on our own. We should think about the ways to cooperate and do something together with other people. And the important part is that we consider the set of Google tools, which are numerous, which are hundreds, which are dozens and dozens. We can think about how those Google tools incorporate into the framework of what I've just said. If we think about these essential functions, we can find that each function of a personal learning environment is well constructed by the Google tools. For example, if we take search, we definitely understand that search is the core of Google does and suggests, and besides just the regular Google search, it could be things like Google Maps, Google Scholar, Google Translate, and so on. Everything that helps us to find the right things that we are looking for. Then Google suggests a lot of tools which help us to organize information. So have everything handy and available. Things like bookmarks, Google Drive, Google Calendar are definitely ideal tools which help us to organize information the way that we want to. Publishing is also a very important thing in what Google does. And as educators and as learners, we have a lot of different ways and methods to make what we produce available to other people. And we can use such things as Google Sites, Blogger, YouTube, and so on to publish what we produce. Of course, we can mention a lot of different tools that help us to create something new. I just mentioned one Blockly, which is a programming language which was created by Google engineers not long ago, because I think that it is one of the core things that should be mentioned in this respect. Definitely, Google has a lot of different tools that help people to communicate, and my colleagues who made the presentation before me just mentioned nice opportunities that Google Plus has, things like making community, creating a circle of friends with whom we can share information, an opportunity to connect with other people through Hangouts and so on. And definitely, Google suggests a lot of tools for cooperation. So my point is that when we are considering building a Google Apps environment at school, we should think not only about solving our regular tasks, but we should look somewhere deeper. We should think about how these tools can help our students to create personal learning environments. And we should understand that they will be unique. We should understand that our students will bring in other tools. Google is a very open environment. So if any of our students says, I like to use Skype, I like to use Facebook, it does not contradict this approach. Use them. Use as many tools as you want to, because everything fits in quite nicely. I wanted just to say a couple of words about what we do in Russia to make this work. We have quite developed system of tools and connections which help us to develop as a community in Russia. And I will mention just a few things. This year we started a whole series of offline education events. We made the first Google Summit in Pskov, and I'm happy to see my colleagues from Pskov here. Yes, and we've done 2 Google Academies. We develop a special format. We call it a regional Google Academy, which means that we bring together local educators from schools of certain region and help them to create relations that will work in the future. So this is a picture taken at a Tatarstan Google Teacher Academy, and the other one is from Novosibirsk. So I have a nice video, but I will not show it to you because it's I don't have time for it. And definitely we do a lot to promote Google tools and create personal learning environments through the online tools. For example, we joined the series of Google Education on Air broadcasts, and we've done several of them. The last one was about the use of Google Maps in education, and we had about 200 people who joined and watched these videos online. And it's a very successful program, and if you are thinking about promoting Google tools online, I would advise you to consider it as well. Here is a map. It's not complete, but it gives the general idea of how spread our Google educators are. And the interesting point is that we don't only have people from Russia. We work with all people who can speak the Russian language. And here I'm happy to see our colleagues from Estonia who joined us for the Moscow Google Teacher Academy and who are now Google certified teachers. Now we have about 150 Google certified teachers in Russia, Ukraine, Belarus, Kazakhstan, Estonia, other countries. And we are going to expand. I have very little time, and I want to do an important thing for me. Something very special happened in our last academy in Novosibirsk. We found that there were more people, more teachers who wanted to become Google certified teachers than we had such pins. And the members of our teaching team gave out their own pins to the new Google certified teachers. And we nearly cried because it was so touching. And now I'm here to make happen something very important. I have brought pins for the members of my wonderful team, and I'm ready to hand them in to them. Masha Smirnova, come here. Google certified teacher from Moscow receives her pin. And Ludmila Rождественская, come here. Congratulations. Congratulations. So I just left this very sensible moment for the last. I'm out of time. If you want to contact me, feel free to find my name on Google+. I'll be happy to answer all of your questions if you have any. Thank you very much.